I wanted to ask about outcome-based pricing because it is derivative of the price of compute. Now, it seems because the desire and need for compute is so great and power, it's on a trajectory to run the power for unlimited energy to zero. At least, let's say, on a 100-year scope, is a result of positive outcome of AI. Maybe the top one will be free energy for everybody once AI figures out how to give it to us. It makes me wonder how that's going to affect pricing. If you can unbundle the price of compute with the price of your product, what is the strategy and tactics about setting pricing? Or even what is it today? I've spoke to dozens of founders, and really nailing where and how to price becomes a major pain point for them.
I think you need to think about it as what is your differentiating value over the raw compute? For example, we use tools that use the large language models for our own customers. So the people you don't expect, just say for right now, OpenAI, obviously we have enterprise accounts and we use AI across the company in many different ways, but we don't use necessarily OpenAI directly in all use cases. We are often using them through mediated solutions. So this raises two pricing challenges. One is, are you differentiated from the other providers of that experience? In other words, it's not that hard to differentiate yourself from the raw capabilities of the underlying models because they're not packaged for purpose. For example, you can prompt OpenAI or Anthropic to do amazing things if you are an expert in doing that. But we use tools that automate the prompting in effect, or the agentic reach out, and provide results that I don't need to train an AE to be expert at that. It enriches data for them. And that's the value of that software. In that case, if that's what it's doing for me, it's not connected to the drop-in compute. It's connected to how well does that save my AE time. Maybe the drop-in compute may eventually change how many AEs I need or something like that, but a good distinction. If you're selling Lovable and Bolt going straight at each other, and Cursor and a bunch of other companies, the competition between those companies, and they're all great companies, by the way, they're all interesting and great companies, but they are differentiating on being amazing at different things. If you're fundamentally thinking of it like a design to prototype, even to delivery model, you are probably in the Lovable Bolt end of things. If you're in the hard engineering end of things, like we are, by the way, we'll use all these tools, but they are used in different ways for different purposes. The people who are using Cursor and all the other IDE-based things, they're not using them the same way as the teams that use Lovable or Bolt. You have to drive differentiation that is unique to you, and then you can price it based on the value and the increased efficiency for the end customer. If you don't do that, you are going to get either eaten by the model providers, which I think is a relatively low risk, but getting eaten by the other competitors is a very high risk. Regardless of how you price it, if you give away for free, if there's a better tool, people will pay for the better tool rather than use the free one